Welcome to another insightful edition of Housing Development, your trusted platform for informed conversations on the policies, projects, innovations, and people shaping the future of housing and urban development. I am your host, Ben Dodo Oche, and in today's edition, we spotlight the AIHS Youth and Innovation Hub, a transformative initiative creating opportunities for young innovators to develop practical solutions for the real estate and built environment sector. We also take you to the Stakeholders Validation Workshop on the National Housing Data Program Report and the regulation of the built environment in the housing sector, where industry leaders are charting a new course for data-driven housing policy and stronger regulatory frameworks. Plus, we bring you highlights from the official launch of Elite City alongside the major stories, projects, and developments shaping the Nigeria's housing landscape. As always, let's begin with the latest headlines making waves across Nigeria's housing, real estate, and construction industry.
The Africa International Housing Show has established a research and economic team to strengthen housing research, generate credible data, and provide economic intelligence for evidence-based policymaking across Africa. The initiative, which takes effect in September 2026, is one of the first major actions implementing the Abuja Declaration on Housing Solutions for Low-Income and Informal Workers in Africa. Led by AIHS's chief economist, the multidisciplinary team will produce housing market reports, policy briefs, and investment intelligence while monitoring housing reforms across the continent. AIHS says the move reinforces its commitment to becoming a year-round knowledge and policy institution, driving sustainable housing development beyond its annual conference. Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf has allocated more than 2,000 plots of land as part of efforts to expand home ownership, reduce the state's housing deficit, and encourage planned urban development. The initiative is aimed at giving more families access to land while creating long-term economic opportunities through property ownership. The governor urged beneficiaries to develop their plots rather than hold or sell them for speculation, describing land ownership as a pathway to wealth creation and sustainable housing delivery. The state government says the program forms part of its broader strategy to improve land administration and make home ownership more accessible to residents. The Housing Development Advocacy Network has called on the All Progressive Congress to make affordable housing a central pillar of its empowerment strategy, arguing that expanding home ownership would have a more lasting impact than distributing phones, laptops, and other consumer items. The group said housing creates wealth, strengthens social security, and stimulates economic growth. HDAN Executive Director Festus Adebayo urged policymakers to invest in sustainable housing programs that generate jobs, attract investment, and improve living standards, insisting that access to affordable homes should remain a national development priority than short-term political giveaways.
Those are some of the biggest stories making headlines across Nigeria's housing and urban development sector, highlighting the policies, projects, and investments shaping the industry's future. We will continue to bring you timely and credible updates to keep you informed on the issues that matter most. Now, let's shift our focus to one of our featured stories for this edition. Innovation is rapidly redefining the future of housing, and young people are increasingly at the forefront of that transformation. Recognizing this potential, the Africa International Housing Show launched the AIHS Youth and Innovation Hub, a platform designed to nurture bold ideas, connect emerging talents with industry leaders, and inspire practical solutions to Africa's housing challenges. Let's have a look.
Africa International Housing Show Innovation Club, because Innovation Hub is now a club. I've learned the power of networking, and I've also leveraged on networking as well. We've also learned to merge our individual differences together, and also I realized that in order to move the housing sector forward, we need to be innovative, we need to collaborate. Collaboration is key.
The Innovation Hub and the Young Professionals platform is a new idea. As the word implies, innovation is a new thing that we are bringing on board. The future of housing lies on innovation. So, and that is why we come up with this idea that, okay, let's see how we can be incubating young professionals with young ideas, young experiences that we can impact into the society.
There are a lot of ideas, but the platform where those ideas can thrive is where we are lacking, especially in the real estate sector. You have a lot of boot camps in tech, you have a lot of boot camps in fintech, agri-tech, but there isn't so much focus in breeding the next generation of real estate innovators. And I think this Youth Innovation Hub that the AIHS put together, I think this is the first edition. It's perfect.
The expectation is now we have 10 innovators and about 50 young professionals. By next year, we would like to increase to about 50 innovators and to have about 200 young professionals that we're all going to be working together. My message to the young innovators, on one hand, is to keep doing what they're doing very well, to continue looking for how to scale up. I was teaching them on the ask, how to ask for things they need to grow their business. They should not relent on their efforts. And for the young professionals, they've got brilliant ideas. They should not allow the ideas, their dream, to die.
Before AIHS, we don't have a platform to show that we can be able to solve the real estate fraud in Nigeria, which is costing us over $4 billion a year. But as a result of AIHS, we were able to show the solution to the people.
A really interesting development there. The AIHS Youth and Innovation Hub is a clear demonstration that the future of housing extends beyond bricks and mortar. It lies in the ideas, creativity, and technology-driven solutions of the next generation. By empowering young innovators and providing a platform for collaboration, the initiative is helping shape a more inclusive and sustainable future for Africa's real estate sector. Moving on, reliable data and effective regulation remain critical to addressing Nigeria's housing deficit and improving standards across the built environment. To strengthen policy decisions and promote accountability in the sector, key stakeholders gathered for the Stakeholders Validation Workshop on the National Housing Data Program Report and the regulation of the built environment in the housing sector. The workshop focused on building consensus around a unified housing data framework and a stronger regulatory system to drive sustainable housing delivery. Kelechi Anorue completes our report.
As Nigeria continues to grapple with a growing housing deficit, rapid urbanization, and recurring cases of building collapse, stakeholders say the time has come for decisions to be driven by credible data and strengthened regulation. It is against this backdrop that the Federal Ministry of Housing and Urban Development convened the Stakeholders Validation Workshop on the National Housing Data Program Report and regulation of the built environment in the housing sector. The workshop brought together policymakers, regulators, industry professionals, researchers, development partners, and private sector players to review and validate two critical documents expected to shape the future of Nigeria's housing sector.
The solution is a national housing data center, which we intend to establish. The federal government and the state governments will use it. Investors, from wherever they are, they will use it. Financial institutions who are in country or overseas can use it. And the general public who wants to own their own houses, if we have the data center, they can use it. So these are the classes of people who will use it at the end of the day.
At the heart of the discussions is the Draft National Housing Data Framework, an initiative designed to establish a harmonized, reliable, and comprehensive housing database for the country.
The establishment of a robust national housing data program, therefore, represents a significant step towards strengthening evidence-based decision-making in the sector. The proposed framework for data collection, management, and sharing, as well as the establishment and operationalization of a national housing data center, will provide a stronger foundation for understanding housing demand and supply, housing affordability, and the evolving needs of Nigerians across different segments of the society.
Data is the new oil, and for housing, data is the new cement. And again, if you're building your house without data, it's like you're building in the dark. Well, now that we're establishing the National Housing Data Center, that's going to be the light to really provide guidance and the path for us to go.
As deliberations continue, participants believe that a unified housing data system backed by an effective regulatory framework will not only improve transparency and governance, but also boost investor confidence, support infrastructure planning, and accelerate the delivery of safe, affordable, and sustainable housing for Nigerians.
Now, let's take a stroll into the world of real estate, where a landmark development is redefining the landscape of Nigeria's capital city. From bold visions to modern urban planning, the private sector investment continues to play a pivotal role in reshaping Nigeria's housing landscape. And one development making headlines is Elite City in Abuja. Tipped as a modern master-planned community, the project is attracting commendation from industry stakeholders who believe it represents a bold step towards expanding quality housing, driving economic growth, and redefining urban living in the nation's capital. Here is the report.
Nigeria's real estate sector continues to evolve with innovative developments that are redefining the future of urban living. One of the latest milestones is the official unveiling of Elite City Abuja, an ambitious mixed-use smart city project designed to combine modern infrastructure with sustainability, technology, and a high quality of life. Positioned as the first development of its kind in the nation's capital, the project represents a bold step towards creating communities that are not only livable, but also economically vibrant and environmentally responsible.
I've gone around to so many places. I've traveled abroad. I've seen homes that is powered with all these amenities. We got in love with it. We became in love with it. We said we have to bring it to this our country, Nigeria. We have to replicate the same thing we see over there abroad. That's what brought the initiative. You should expect more of this. This is the first of its kind. But then you should expect more. Expect more because we have planned to also build in other areas, zones of Abuja. We are just starting with Katie.
A plan that incorporates both affordability and comfort. So now every city is different from other because we'll find a way to join the two components of good living, like the comfort and the good environment. You understand? With the future, which is where the tech comes in.
Beyond residential and commercial spaces, Elite City Abuja is envisioned as a city built around wellness, quality healthcare, innovation, and future-ready technology. With a strong emphasis on inclusivity, smart infrastructure, and sustainable urban planning, the development aims to provide residents and investors with a modern ecosystem where people can live, work, invest, and thrive.
Elite City is more than an estate. It is a vision for modern, secure, and sustainable living. We are building a community with quality infrastructure, including 1.7 kilometer fully tied road, efficient drainage system, street lighting, reliable water infrastructure, perimeter fencing, a modern gatehouse, and a 24-hour security.
Driven by the growing demand for smart technology-enabled communities, the vision behind Elite City is to position Abuja at the forefront of digital transformation in urban development. By integrating intelligent infrastructure, digital connectivity and innovative technologies into every aspect of the project.
We are having a 2-bedroom terrace duplex. We have 3-bedroom terrace duplex. We have 4-bedroom terrace duplex. We have mansions and mansionettes. We have accommodation for everyone as long as Elite City is concerned. For as low as 3.6 million, you could own a plot in this site, Elite City.
Speaking on the affordability of Elite City Abuja, the developers credited their participation in the 20th Legacy edition of the Africa International Housing Show with reshaping their approach to inclusive housing.
During the Africa International Housing Show, we saw that it was one of the programs that the show also encouraged. And we said, okay, we are launching this estate and we are going to make sure that in line with the show, the African International Housing Show, we are going to provide a payment plan for low-income earners to still partake in the Elite estate.
Yeah, we expect to see more of this happening. There's already a lot happening like this in Lagos, the likes of the Eco-Atlantics and several other of those kind of projects in that space. It's important because, we've been talking a lot about how to bring down the costs of real estate. This is one of the ways, because with several companies working together, you can share the cost of infrastructure and then you can get some very decent savings from a project like this.
With its vision anchored on smart technology and accessible housing, the project is poised to contribute to the transformation of Nigeria's housing landscape, one community at a time.
A city that seamlessly integrates wellness, healthcare, and technology right here in the nation's capital. Truly a remarkable development. As the first of its kind in Abuja, Elite City sets a new benchmark for modern urban living. We look forward to seeing more visionary projects of this nature. Congratulations to the consortium of real estate companies whose collaboration has brought this ambitious vision to life. The conversation on real estate continues, and up next is our exclusive and insightful session with Solap, where we explore key issues shaping the housing and property market. But first, we'll take a short break. Stay with us, and when we return, the conversation continues.
You are highly officially welcome to the 20th anniversary edition of the Africa International Housing Show, themed the Legacy Edition.
Happy 20th anniversary to Africa International Housing Show.
28周年纪念快乐 Yeah!
Happy 20th anniversary, AIHS!
Glad to have you back. It is Housing Development, your trusted platform for informed conversations on the policies, projects, innovations, and people shaping the future of housing and urban development. I am Ben Dodo Oche. Real estate remains one of the most attractive investment destinations, yet many investors still grapple with a fundamental question: which offers greater returns, site and services, or housing development? To provide clarity on this important subject, we sat with the Group Managing Director of Solap, Architect Dr. Akosu Paul, for an insightful conversation that broke down the concepts, explored their investment potential, and highlighted the opportunities it presents. Beyond the discussion, Dr. Paul also shed light on the wide range of investment opportunities available through Solap, with strategically located and well-planned estates to professionally delivered housing developments tailored to meet the needs of both first-time buyers and seasoned investors. Here is how the conversation unfolded.
As an architect, site and services so common in the country. That's a situation where, you have a parcel of land, a piece of land. People just design it, divide it into plots, and begin to sell it. Ideally, infrastructure is supposed to be provided, like access roads, water, light. You say in plot, people now develop that. The subscribers, they develop that all by themselves. That's site and service. Now, housing development, it's whereby, a developer, that same piece of land, he is the one to undertake the construction. So you are buying from him, you are taking from him, it is the houses you are buying. You're not buying a piece of land. All right. So he built the houses and then sell to the subscribers. Of course, infrastructure is provided. And permit me to add that at Solar, that's actually the main thing we're into. Usually, our projects, we structure our payment. We understand that the cost of buying a house, subscribing to a housing project is not always the same with the cost of buying land.
Yeah.
And I think that is also one of the reasons why many people opt to go into land. The fee is cheaper, all right, even though sometimes the risk is also there. All right, so what we do is we structure our payment. There are some of our projects that the payment is as long as, the payment structure is as long as 12 months, some even up to 18 months. So with just a down payment of 30%. So that structure, that payment structure is aimed at ensuring that people are making that affordable for people. So if that project is to run like the next 2 years, we structure that payment such that you are able to, have the flexibility of making your payment without really putting yourself under much stress.
In our previous edition, we unpacked the first pillar of the AIHS 2026 communique, the Abuja Declaration on Housing Solutions for Low-Income and Informal Workers in Africa, a landmark commitment that reaffirms access to decent, safe, affordable, and sustainable housing as a fundamental human need and a catalyst for economic and social development. Today, our focus shifts to the second pillar of the declaration, National Affordable Housing Strategies. What does it propose? What does it matter? And how could it reshape housing delivery across Africa? Let's take a closer look.
The second commitment of the AIHS 2026 communique calls on every African country to develop or update a national affordable housing strategy with measurable annual housing delivery targets by 2028. This is a call for governments to move beyond policy declarations and adopt practical roadmaps with clear goals, timelines, and accountability. The importance of this recommendation cannot be overstated. Without a coordinated national strategy, housing programs often suffer from inconsistent implementation, inadequate funding, and poor coordination among stakeholders. By setting measurable annual targets, governments can track progress, attract private investment, improve planning, and ensure that affordable housing remains a national priority. For countries like Nigeria, where the housing deficit remains significant, a well-defined strategy could strengthen collaboration between the public and private sectors, accelerate housing delivery, and provide millions of citizens with greater access to safe, decent, and affordable homes.
The cost of building materials remains one of the biggest challenges facing Nigeria's housing and construction sector, with constant price fluctuations affecting developers, contractors, and everyday consumers alike. To understand the realities on the ground, we visited the Wuse Building Materials Market in Abuja, where we spoke with vendors about the challenges they face, how rising costs have impacted sales, and what the future holds for the market. Here is what they had to say.
The WCs, the water system, okay, so many factories are being set up here. So you basically don't import it from China again. So the price is stable. It still ranges between 54,000 to upward, even up to 200 and something thousand, depending on the brand and depending on the quality you want.
As of then, before we started having some countries move to Nigeria and start producing in Nigeria, you have prices that are just so high, and people would still buy because they need it anyways. But when you now have, you have already stocked a lot of goods from imported goods, and then another company comes and starts, producing in Nigeria, it becomes an issue because you have to now sell less, cheaper than you would, and maybe even lose your profits.
We said this beam shower as of last month at the rate of 25,000 naira. So this month now, due to how the price is and how is it in the country now, the shower is 32,000 naira. And back then when we were selling it 25,000, most customers priced 20,000. So now it's now 32,000 naira now. How to convince the customer to buy it at the rate of 32,000 naira? So that's what we are battling with in this rainy season time.
That brings us to the end of another insightful edition of Housing Development. We hope today's conversations have given you a deeper understanding of the policies, innovations, investments, and opportunities shaping Nigeria's housing and urban development sector. Remember, building sustainable communities is a shared responsibility, and staying informed is the first step towards meaningful change. Thank you for joining us on another enlightening edition of Housing Development. We hope today's program has informed, inspired, and strengthened the conversation on building sustainable housing solutions for Nigeria and Africa. For more updates, exclusive reports, and housing-related content, follow Housing TV Africa across our social media platforms displayed on your screen. I am Ben Dodo Oche. Keep watching Housing TV Africa, your trusted voice for everything housing and real estate and urban development. Until next time, stay informed and keep building the future. Goodbye.